peace come from the one. Do not be attached even to his one. Come from the one. Do not be attached even to his one. Because the non-dual is one without trusting because the non-dual is one with the trusting one. Who live in this land is the Lord, who can do all in this land is the Lord, who can do because the non-dual is one with the trusting because I'm is one with the trusting only the Son of God is one with the unseen mind. Only the Son is love, because the non-dual is one with the trusting means belief or faith. This is not the faith in the ordinary sense. It is a belief that comes from first-hand experience, a faith which arises out of supreme knowledge and wisdom of enlightenment. This believing is an affirmation that all existence or reality is essentially the Buddha mind, which is our true nature. Hasten is the conviction that at the bottom of all phenomena lies the one mind, the Buddha mind which is one with our real nature, the Buddha nature. Hasten literally means heart. It means mind, not the deluded mind of the ignorant, but the Buddha mind. Hasten is the mind that merges with the all-encompassing one mind. Ming literally means inscription. It means written expression or record. Ming also means warnings or admonitions. most influential Zen writings. It is usually referred to as the first Zen poem. It consists of 146 unrhymed, 4-1 verses to totophistic 4 characters. Heisin Heisin Ming was composed in Shi 4 form. Shi was the principal poetic form in use in the early period. It is first used in the Book of Otis 5. Like the early Shi. Like the early Shi, the Heisin Heisin Ming consists of lines that are 4 characters in length. But contrary to most Shi, no end rhyme is employed in the poem. Means belief or faith. This is not the faith in the ordinary sense. It is a belief that comes from first-hand experience. A faith which arises out of supreme knowledge and wisdom of enlightenment. This believing is an affirmation that all existence or reality is essentially the Buddha mind, which is our true nature. Heisin is the conviction that at the bottom of all phenomena lies the one mind, the Buddha mind, which is one with our real nature, the Buddha nature. Heisin literally means heart. It means mind, not the deluded mind of the ignorant, but the Buddha mind. Heisin is the mind that merges with the all-encompassing one. Ning literally means inscription. It means written expression or recording. Also means warnings or admonitions. Heisin Ming is one of the earliest and most influential Zen writings. It is usually referred to as the first Zen poem. It consists of 4-6 unrhymed, 4-character 1 verses 2. Total exist of 4 characters. Heisin Ming was composed in Shi 4 form. She was the principal poetic form in use in the early period. It is first used in the Book of Otis 5. Like the early Shi, Heisin Ming consists of lines that are 4 characters in length. But contrary to most Shi, no end rhyme is employed in the poem. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, Fourth, let the will to life be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance. Intense and keen, turned inward miss. No atom of analysis. Sixth, on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy, prolong thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one o'erpowered time that the midnight blossom flowered. The oneness is yet, even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere, thy radiance that rolls afar. O brother of the silver star. Crowley-da. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward miss. No atom of analysis. 6 on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen land. Lest all these things in one o'erpower, time that the midnight blossom flower, the oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere, thy radiance that rolls afar, oh brother of the silver star. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abhor the fidget babes that tease the thorn. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance. Intense and keep turning wordless, no atom of an elusive sits on one thought securely hid, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame, straight and undisturbed, burn out thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one or power, time that the midnight blossom flower. Oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression true, thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rose afar, O brother of the silver star. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid thus thou mayst support the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs and ends, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward miss no atom of another sea. 6, on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, till that ecstasy prolong thy meditation, steep and strong, sling even God, should he distract thy attention. From the chosen act, last all these things in one o'erpower. Time that the midnight blossom flower. The oneness is yet even in this. My son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierced to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar, oh brother of the silver star. to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to life be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs in hands, hour after hour thy vigilance intense and key, turned inwardness, no atom of analysis. Six, on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one overpower, time that the midnight blossom flower. The oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee. Thou art the master, I revere thy radiance that rules afar. O brother of the silver star, Crowley, there are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inwardness. No atom of analysis, 6 on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind, so like a flame, straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolonged, thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God, should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one o'erpowered, timed at the midnight blossom flower. The oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rose afar, O brother of the silver star. Cry-dee-ah-ha, cry-dee-ah-ha, cry-dee-ah-ha. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Let thy life be pure and calm, sweet softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, Hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward miss. No atom of anomaly. Sex on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind, soar like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next till that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen land. Last all these things in one all-power, time as the midnight blossom flower, the oneness is yet even in this. My son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar, O brother of the silver star. Running There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of a will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the prophet. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs and has, hour after hour, thy vigilance. Intense and keen, turned inward miss, no atom of an sees. Sixth, on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind, so like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong, slaying even God, should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one all-power, time that the midnight blossom flowered, the oneness is yet even in this. My son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression true, thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, eight in one and one in eight. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Course rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be long, easy, regular, and slow. So that thy being be in tune with the great seas, Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a windless calm. Fourth, let the will to be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance. Hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward miss. No atom of analysis. Six, on one thought securely pent still. Every whisper of the wind, so like a flame straight and unstirred. Burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong. Slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one or power. Time that the midnight blossom flowered. The oneness is yet even in this my soul. Thou shalt not do if thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I hear, thou art the master I revere, thy radiance heralds afar, oh brother of the silver star. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and one in 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow. That thy being be in tune with the great seas, Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance. Hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and thinking turned inward mist. No atom of analysis. Fixed on one thought securely pinned. Still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred. Burn up thy being in one word. Feel that ecstasy prolong. Thy meditations deep and strong. Slay even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one o'erpowered time that the midnight blossom flowered. The oneness is yet, even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. Without restraint, the expression shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, size, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart. I leave the master. I revere thy radiance that rolls afar. Oh, brother of the silver star. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God. For it is God. For it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God. For it is God. For it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God. For it is God. For it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. He died not for man, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. for men, but for each man. If each man for each man, if each man had been the only man made, he would have done all that. He died not for men, but for each man, if each man had been the only man made, he would have done all that.
Oh, it is my fellow.
Oh, look who it is! It's Cynic Mikhail. So what's the recap?
I am Illumi.
What's the recap here?
Would you like to receive the Eucharist?
I think you can actually make fun of a lot of this duality, non-duality, and logos, meditation work.
I really don't think you guys are equipped to even have this debate.
Coming from you, nigger? Okay.
Whoa! Whoa! Hey, Sam Rosen's in the house. Sam Rosen never.
Bro, leave him up here.
Sam Rosen.
I'm just gonna have to put him in the gulag.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Alright, so in other words, you think I granted him too much? Do you remember it?
I'm sorry, that was the son of man in me.
Do you remember what verse it was?
He slipped.
What verse it was? It was it Bethany or Gethsemane? I forgot the name of the place.
No specifics.
But,
you do not know. You do not hear.
Listen.
Are you just pretending you understand English?
No, listen, because he didn't listen. Mark, it's either
I just think you've learned
I think it was in Matthew.
But you have
Matthew
not learned
didn't
how
precise
to
the verse.
process sentences.
He didn't precise the verse. Okay, so he said Gospel
So
of
let me
Matthew.
just get this straight, because all I got was that some humans, Jesus and his disciples, entered a house. That's all I got.
Yeah, so it says in the Gospel account that they don't specify what happened, but then he said that, based on the Talmud or whatever, that they did something wrong, right? So what I'm saying is this.
There we go with these.
Just one moment, man.
I need specifics.
It's already specific, man.
No, it's not. All I heard was a man and...
Okay. So here's the point. The point I'm trying to say is this. You are charitable a lot when it comes to position that we shouldn't be ashamed.
Correctness, it always changes.
Oh no, I know you're not ashamed.
I
know you're not ashamed. But I would say that's my only critique. It's just
I think I was being overly confident a little bit.
Yeah. But that's it.
At the same time, I felt confident. I have to Salam alaikum. Walaikum salam. So I felt overly confident. I felt confident enough because I knew that Jesus, shaped Judaism. And I was proving that every single time he mentioned something, right? When I asked him about Sabbatai Tzvi, and I said, well, why didn't you kill him? He goes, oh, we learned from that.
I have
So
a
then
question
I'm
for
saying,
you, Magnet.
hold on a second.
Okay.
So, I mean, he in one sentence he's saying that it was all made up and he's not a real person. In the next sentence, he's saying we should learn from killing prophets. So now, if I'm not super charitable, right? How am I going to get that out of him? If you get so prideful where you stay stuck on one point, you're never going to allow him to contradict himself. And he did many times. I mean, you've seen him do it many, many times, because he was just mouthing off different things.
Yeah.
It didn't add up. None of them added up. It's not like he had a coherent story.
So here's the I just found the reference. It's the gospel scene where he enters Bethany near Jerusalem.
What chapter?
You could go in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, 38 to 42, for example.
I mean,
and yes, who's talking?
I'm
what's
asking
up?
you,
What's up?
are you a Muslim? Right?
Yes, I'm
you
Muslim.
have a question
Wait,
about
wait,
Islam?
hold up,
Hey,
hold
can
up,
I
bro.
hear
I'm
this
talking with
person,
him.
this non-Christian? Go ahead, Amin.
Yeah.
Just calm down, bro. Are you a Muslim, I mean?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Do you believe in Bible?
Amazing.
You believe in
Go
Bible?
ahead.
You don't believe in Bible here, bro.
No,
Wait, just hold up. Do you believe in Bible?
Yeah, he don't believe
Yes,
in
we
the Bible,
believe
but
in
his
the Bible,
God
bro.
believes in the Bible.
So why you give us a
Go ahead,
text from
I
the
mean-
Bible if you don't believe it, bro?
Okay, I'm gonna put you in the audience. Thank you.
No,
very
I
much.
did it.
Yeah.
I was
Thank
so
you.
fast
Thank you.
because I
Thank you.
recognized the, you know.
Yeah. Forget
Anyways.
this guy. Anyway, we're gonna move on. So what is this verse? Give the verse to Black.
It's
He wants to hear it.
it's Luke chapter 10 verse 38. I don't have it like in front of me, but basically it says he enters Bethany and stays in private homes. I'm not reading from the gospel. He also eats and lodges with tax collectors and sinners. So the gospel account for sure does not mention any sexual act or whatever, right? But then he's taking that reference and he's quoting the Talmud in where, you know, there's polemics like Jewish text that says that he did some wrong things with Mary and some Marys, right? So the point is this, right?
Hold on. What's up here?
I don't know the name precisely.
There's a lot of Marys.
There's one that's called Mary, the other is called Martha, right? So anyways, so we know that a pious man would never do such things, right? But the tradition he have says apparently that he was doing something wrong, right? Now, you know, for me, it's like I would say I would not even grant the position. I would say, listen, you would have to prove to me what you are bringing, because my text don't have a mention of any of what you say. You see what I'm trying to say? That's my approach. It's just going to be, you said something, you're going to have to prove it. So yeah, but you know, it's just like overall you were doing great. Like, to be honest, that's just a little critique. So yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with all that, bro. And there's a lot of Marys. There's one that wiped his feet with her hair, right? A lot of people often confuse a Mary with the adulterous woman that was forgiven. Her name is not Mary. So there's like a lot of things that you might think you know and don't.
You're talking to me? I'm confused. I'm trying to understand what he's saying. Yo, Black, what's up?
So back to the topic, we are recapping a debate on Logos, but actually we're not. Amin is here practicing his English. We're all here helping Amin practice his English. English training. How's it going, Amin?
Yo, it's good, man. But Okay, do you have anything of substance to say?
Oh, I was just saying that we're helping you with words, aka the Logos. You know, I don't know, like, is there a recap or is there a new debate? Is there something interesting going to happen here tonight? What's the plan? What's the agenda? Or is it just, sit here and say whatever with no agenda?
Yeah, we're just talking.
That might sometimes be the only thing you gotta go to.
But Black, you were saying something. I'm not sure to understand what you said.
You spoke about Mary. I gave you one Mary, and there's like three Marys there, three different individual women. The one that wiped his feet with her hair is one Mary, and then the one that saw him resurrect is another Mary.
Actually, that's Black. You sure you didn't grow up Catholic, bro?
No, I just know.
Nah, because that's like really, really, really Catholic that you just said that. I'm just
what do you mean?
Black. You're kind of exposing yourself right here.
Because
no, you're not.
I could be.
Yeah,
listen,
I'm just letting you know that you just expose yourself because it's a Catholic belief that when she went to visit Mary Bethany, that he came across a sinful woman who was Mary Magdalene. So it's only Catholics that
that's
really
the one that he thinks that he had sex with, right? Mary Magdalene, obviously, is the Magdalene.
No, so that's
it was the one that she did. So, he did this was obviously again the sinful woman, and this was again the person that he performed exorcism.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So the Sicario, when he was in the room,
I know the Magdalene, right?
He was quoting you from the
scripture. Yeah, but the story that you're talking about, any situation is very Catholic. Black, you already did this shit, bro. You already stepped in shit, so just accept yeah, don't half step it now. You're already in knee deep. So you.
What do you mean me?
With your little Santeria ways, bro.
I don't believe in none of that.
Yeah, you do, bro. You grew up with that shit.
All right, so there you go. Boom.
Thank you. So Catholic. That's why you still associate the story.
I don't believe in that, and I don't believe in Catholics.
So where would you have learned that?
Guys, and you down.
Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch and mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. Man has the right to love as he will, take your fill and will of love as you will, when, where, and with whom you will. Man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Love is the law. Love under will. The law of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the Lord. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that and no other shall say nay. Every man and every woman is a star. There is no God but man. The rights of man, Master Therian, Freda Puderabo, Alistair Crowley, Alistair Crowley, the Master, Alistair Crowley. Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, and mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. Man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as you will. When, where, and with whom you will. Man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Love is the law. Love under will. The law of the strong. This is our law. And the joy of the world. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that and no other shall say nay. Every man and every woman is a star. There is no God but man. The rights of man, Master Therian, Freda Puderabo, Alistair Crowley, Alistair Crowley, the Master, Alistair Crowley. Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, and mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. Man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as he will. When, where, and with whom you will. Man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Love is the law. Love under will. The law of the strong. This is our law. And the joy of the world. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that and no other shall say nay. Every man and every woman is a star. There is no God but man. The rights of man, Master Therian, Freda Puderabo, Alistair Crowley, Alistair Crowley, the Master, Alistair Crowley.
Carthage, though
your commercial republic was the aggressor. In the very war that ended in her destruction, Hannibal had carried her arms into the heart of Italy, to the gates of Rome before Scipio returned. Gave him an overthrow in the territories of Carthage, and made a conquest of the Commonwealth. Venice in later times figured more than once in wars of ambition.
Hello, John.
Yo, what up?
No, already like really made a what's it called? A big speech against you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. Like wow, he looked like what's his name? What was that called? Atticus Finch. What was that? What was that called?
I think I know.
Atticus Finch.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Atticus Finch. She was like representing like the black guy accused of rape. He didn't rape.
Isn't it crazy that they can accuse me of fraud and think that that's not libel or defamation of character?
That's why I say Atticus Finch in like reverse. 1 second. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
There we go. But yeah, that's crazy. But like, did you sign your name on the petitions, or was it the what's her name?
No, I signed it and had a notary notarize it after I signed it as the circulator.
Oh, damn.
You know what's interesting is for the committee person, there was no challenge with regards to that when I ran for committee person. But having looked through the difference between the packets between the state board and the Chicago election, state board specifically calls out that as being an insufficient petition. So, but the thing is, it's arguable that because of my disability, because of other issues, that it's impractical to have the circulator actually signed. So it should be
a fraud thing. Like that's complete bullshit. But like Craigslist girl might have fucked you over.
Well, you know what's weird is the executive summary report showed that I only had like 66 signatures, and then they come out and say I have 266 signatures. So
they also suck too. Like they fucked over Joe. So I also don't believe them at all.
Yeah, I don't.
If your girl just was making up names, you'd have zero.
Well, I personally went out and got signatures in Bloomington Normal for 3 days.
Yeah.
And she got signatures too, but she probably got fucked over by the people that she hired and subcontracted to. So she either lied or the people she worked with lied, but I didn't fucking lie. So
you got fucked over a little bit by the state.
I got scammed. The thing that I'm upset about is that they issued an executive summary report on my petitions, and we filed legitimate challenges and objections, and they didn't issue executive summary reports and audit their petitions. So there's a total double standard. And it was like this versus Estella Richards for the committee person candidacy. So clearly there's
you have Fogarty after you this time.
Yeah, but what are they going to do? There's nothing.
He's done. No, he's done. Now it's up to the Corner Earl if he wants to actually prosecute you. Which would be bullshit.
Well, the thing is, could you imagine if they spent all this money bringing me to, it's not criminal, it's civil. There's no
criminal.
Well, either way, the point is,
I don't think you did anything criminal. I did not.
I didn't do anything. Listen, they release serial punchers and recidivists every single day. I fucking tried to run for Congress. This is like Stalin. This is what is it?
This is complete bullshit.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's all because I challenged the power structure in a very direct and upfront.
They went this hard.
Yep. I embarrassed LaHood. Fogarty is trying to essentially defend the honor of LaHood and his own honor and the State Board of Elections to make it seem like what they did was legitimate. But it's the same bullshit. I knew this was going to happen.
It really validates what you were doing.
It makes me a legitimate politician.
Exactly.
This
is care this much.
This is crazy, but you know.
So what's the next move?
March. I was looking at the Chicago elections. March, I can file a new candidacy.
And then I think January 6th or 7th, you gotta come down to the election board. That's when like Joe Severino's thing will be. It'll be really funny.
Okay.
Terry, Jim Lanham, they'll all be there. Lanham's like 5-1, by the way.
Wow.
It's insane.
What? So, did they already dismiss Severino, or you're saying that's the first week of January?
No, it's like 50-50. They make the decision first week of January.
Is he like scrambling to get affidavits, or?
He like so basically he was under on the summary report, and then he produced a bunch that he like argues like should have been counted, and then now they have to make a decision if they're like what they're going to accept.
So how many is he short?
Like 200.
Well, what about Mendrick? Because he was absolutely short. I mean, they came to the fucking objection, submission, the challenge submission, and said they said they're short. So how the fuck is he still in it?
Good question.
I mean, I have him on recording saying his wife's saying straight up they're short, and it's crazy how many signatures you got to get. So it's like, the fuck is he going to be on the ballot?
Wow, that's a good question.
But if he is, I mean, anyways,
too late.
I think Pritzker's going to clean house, and nobody stands a chance against beating him.
I think all the Republicans know this. That's why, like, you're seeing a record, like, amount of them just not running for shit.
My friend El Normo is here. Welcome, El Normo. I'm talking to my friend Max here in Chicago. What are you doing?
Hey, El Normo.
This is Mark.
Hey, man, what's going on? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
This is Mark Rice's son.
Oh, we've spoken before, I think.
Do you know?
Everybody is El Normo a Zionist?
Yes, he's a strong Zionist.
I would say that's an understatement.
Like, it's just super duper strong Zionist.
I'm like a relentless Zionist.
Nice.
I'm like over the top.
Like Israel should take Iran.
That's coming. Israel is about to hit Iran again. Donald Trump was. Bibi was just telling Trump.
Yeah, how far should Israel's borders expand?
What's that?
How far should Israel's borders expand?
I can't understand that question. Can you? It's the
modulation. How far should Israel's borders expand?
Oh, well, that's above my pay grade. Whatever is necessary for security should be done. And it should be done in a decisive way. I will tell you, I don't know, are you recording this, John?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Are you going to share this anywhere? Because I want to say something.
I'm not. Yeah, say it. I'm not.
John. Yeah, but John, I don't want you to put this someplace.
I've got 15 cell phones filming me, and you're on a multiple Clubhouse recordings.
John gets like more view.
I mean, I don't think you have to fear of what your opinion is.
Yeah. If you want to let Israel take Jordan, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like, you might not be able to go to like a FIFA match or something, but
I think Israel, the people who are willing to put their lives on the line for me I hold them in the highest esteem. And you know how on Passover we say, this didn't happen to them or you, this happened to me. God freed me from slavery in Egypt, right? You know how we say that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the four sons, you got the wicked son, you got the good son, you got the stupid son, and you got the son that does not ask the question. And we say, you know, God freed me. So, in my opinion, the people who fight for Israel are fighting for me, and I owe them everything. That's a debt that I can't pay. So, I want to support them in their decisions to keep Israel safe, keep me safe. And I don't know where that is. I know the Jordan Valley needs to be defended. I know Jordan, by the way, is at least historically actually an ally. Jordan has always been an ally, even when they had to sort of make gestures to the contrary. Because I've been studying this pretty deeply. So I think we should make friends in the region if we can trust them. And together with these friends, defend ourselves against our common enemies, which are the Muslim Brotherhood, the Iranian Revolutionary Genocide Corps, the IRGC. So, do you know, sir, I'm not greedy for more, but I am greedy for safety and Yiddishkeit.
Interesting. So it sounds like you're against expanding into Egypt and Jordan, and that we should make friends with them.
I don't want to address any of that on the record.
Oh, Sean, shit's going down. Shit's going down. You definitely got cousins. Do you have cousins in Israel?
There's Kitovers in Israel, yeah.
No, what's the name? I'm sorry.
Norm.
What's your name?
Norm. I'm Norm.
Norm? Noah or Norm?
Norm.
Norm.
Norm. Do you have family in Israel? Oh yeah, John. He knows things are going down. That's why he can't talk about Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan expansion. You know, we can't talk about that on the record.
Whatever the smart
John, what are your thoughts on expansion?
Must be done. What's that?
Hey, John, which of those three would you expand to? Lebanon, Jordan, or Egypt?
Lebanon, obviously, and then Jordan. But you know, America is really tight with Jordan, and the king of Jordan isn't going to give any land. I mean, unless there's money involved.
Israel is tight with Jordan. Israel is tight. And by the way, listen, I'm all about the Litani in Lebanon, but we had that turned into our Vietnam before, so we have to be very sort of judicious in the way we do these things.
That's a good point. And that could end Israel, because Israel is a new nation. But like Gaza, we should get Gaza back, right, guys?
You know, there were Jewish communities in Gaza going back thousands of years.
My cousin was in high school in Gaza.
Amazing. Well, hang on, I'm trying to remember what that's called again. I can't remember the name, but what was the name of the community?
He just lived with his family, and my family still lives in the West Bank. But he went to high school in Gaza. I forgot the name of high school. But he'd have to drive. He'd have to live 30 minutes away.
Do you know the name of the community in Judea and Samaria that he lives?
Currently he lives in the kibbutz, but his family lived in the Frat at the time. And then I also knew a guy that lived in Gaza, an older gentleman. He's not passed away, but he lived in Gaza straight up, and he only had one leg. He said he went on the Arafat diet. His name was Shlomo Pearson. I'll remember his name. But like he's on the Arafat diet. He lost 60 pounds by like losing his leg in a terrorist attack.
Wow.
Shlomo Saperstein, maybe? I forgot.
So I have friends in Toccoa, which is a really beautiful little community.
My first cousins own the only cafe in Toccoa. I went to a bar mitzvah in Toccoa last year. Toccoa is beautiful.
Because I want to go back.
Have you been to Tacoma?
I can't hear you.
Norm, have you been to Tacoma?
It's the modulation. Yeah, I was there in April.
When?
I was there in April.
Did you go to any cafes there, by chance?
No, I didn't go to a cafe in Tacoma. I didn't know there were cafes. I was just with my friends.
Yeah, there's only one. It's my first cousin's.
Oh, really? Do you know?
Yeah.
Are you able to share?
There's nothing. There's only there's one cafe, and then there's also there's like kind of like a thrift store or like an art store, right?
My friends are artists.
Yeah, like Tacoma is like a big art community. It seems like.
Yeah, there's like New Yorkers there.
Yeah,
and
it's really cool. There's
someone
someone from Clubhouse, John, and my dad and I we ran into her. We literally were at this bar mitzvah, and we just kind of wandered off. We ran into some Clubhouse girl. She has roots in Skokie, John.
I don't know who she is. She's the person who likes greenery, so to speak.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
That tracks. If you mention her name, I might remember. But
I don't want to mention people's names. I don't because
she was a Clubhouse Tacoma person.
I know who it is. Because she tells me that I'm never supposed to say anything about her name or anything. Your dad is like
she's in Israel. I'm not.
Your dad is a giant to me, really. He came to New York and we were banging around Crown Heights together, and he had to stop like every few steps because people were just coming to him and shaking his hand and hugging him and thanking him. And then he came.
You were with him when he went to Crown Heights?
Yes, that's correct. And
he's a legend.
He's a legend. Yeah, your dad is a legend. And then he came to my minion, and we needed another guy after the minion, so we went over to Park Slope and went to him. We made our minion at my shul.
I heard about your shul. Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And then of course we retained the energy company to handle our electric.
That's a really small world.
Yeah.
But
I forget. John's your brother that I deal with. Is your brother's name Miles?
Yes.
Yeah, I deal with him for that company, CRX, I think it's called.
Energy CX.
Yeah, Energy CX.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm doing stuff here. It's it's getting a little late in New York, and I got stuff to do. I might go to the OHEL tonight, actually. You know what that is?
So cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really the coolest, man. We need all.
It is. I've been twice.
Yeah, it's so good. We need all the spiritual support we can get.
Pray for everyone. Okay. It's a blessing to give blessings.
You got it.
And thank you so much, Norm. Pleasure meeting you.
You too. Give your dad a big hug for me and tell him I say hi.
I will.
All right. Take care.
Bye, John.
Bye.
other Italian states. Pope Julius too found means to accomplish that formidable act, which gave a deadly blow to the power and pride of this haughty republic. The provinces of Holland, till they were overwhelmed in debts and taxes, took a leading and conspicuous part in the wars of Europe. They had furious contests with England for the dominion of the sea, and were among the most persevering and most implacable of the opponents of Louis XIV. In the government of Britain, the representatives of the people compose one branch of the national legislature. Commerce has been for ages the predominant pursuit of that country. Few nations, nevertheless, have been more frequently engaged in war. And the wars in which that kingdom has been engaged have, in numerous instances, proceeded from the people. There have been, if I may so express it, almost as many popular as royal wars. The cries of the nation and the importunities of their representatives, upon various occasions, dragged their monarchs into war or continued them in it, contrary to their inclinations, and sometimes contrary to the real interest of the state. In that memorable struggle for superiority between the rival houses of Austria and Barbary, which so long kept Europe in a flame, it is well known that the antipathies of the English against the French, seconding the ambition, or rather the avarice, of a favored leader, then protracted the war beyond the limits marked out by sound policy, and for considerable time in opposition to the views of the court. The wars of these two last mentioned nations have in a great measure grown out of commercial considerations, the desire of supplanting and the fear of being supplanted, either in particular branches of traffic or in the general advantages of trade and navigation. From this summary of what has taken place in other countries, whose situations have borne the nearest resemblance to our own, what a reason can we have to confide in those reveries, which would seduce us into an expectation of peace, cordiality between the members of the present Confederacy in a state of separation? Have we not already seen enough of the fallacy and extravagance of those idle theories which have amused us with promises of an exemption from the imperfections, weaknesses, and evils incident to society in every shape? Is it not time to awake from the deceitful dream of a golden age and to adopt as a practical maxim for the direction of our political conduct that we, as well as the other inhabitants of the globe, are yet remote from the happy empire of perfect wisdom, perfect virtue? Let the point of extreme depression to which our national dignity and credit have sunk, let the inconveniences felt everywhere from a lax and ill administration of government, let the revolt of a part of the state of North Carolina, the late menacing disturbances in Pennsylvania, and the actual insurrections and rebellions in Massachusetts declare. Federalist No. 7. The same subject continued, concerning dangers from dissensions between the states. For the Independent Journal, Alexander Hamilton. To the people of the state of New York, it is sometimes asked, with an air of seeming triumph, what inducements could the states have, if disunited, to make war upon each other? It would be a full answer to this question to say, precisely the same inducements which have at different times deluged in blood all the nations in the world. But unfortunately for us, the question admits of a more particular answer. There are causes of differences within our immediate contemplation, of the tendency of which, even under the restraints of a federal constitution, we have had sufficient experience to enable us to form a judgment of what might be expected if those restraints were removed. Territorial disputes have at all times been found one of the most fertile sources of hostility among nations. Perhaps the greatest proportion of wars that have desolated the earth have sprung from this origin. This cause would exist among us in full force. We have a vast tract of unsettled territory within the boundaries of the United States. There still are discordant and undecided claims between several of them, and the dissolution of the Union would lay a foundation for similar claims between them all. It is well known that they have heretofore had serious and animated discussion concerning the rights to the lands which were ungranted at the time of the Revolution, which usually went under the name of Crown lands. The states within the limits of whose colonial governments they were comprised have claimed them as their property. The others have contended that the rights of the Crown in this article devolved upon the Union, especially as to all that part of the Western Territory which, either by actual possession or through the submission of the Indian proprietors, was subjected to the jurisdiction of the King of Great Britain, till it was relinquished in the Treaty of Peace. This, it has been said, was at all events an acquisition to the Confederacy by compact with a foreign power. It has been the prudent policy of Congress to appease this controversy by prevailing upon the states to make cessions to the United States for the benefit of the whole. This has been so far accomplished as, under a continuation of the Union, to afford a decided prospect of an amicable termination of the dispute. A dismemberment of the Confederacy, however, would revive this dispute and would create others on the same subject. At present, a large part of the vacant Western Territory is, by cession at least, if not by any anterior right, the common property of the Union. If that were at an end, the states which made the cession on a principle of federal compromise would be apt when the motive of the grant had ceased to reclaim the lands as a reversion. The other states would no doubt insist on a proportion by right of representation. Their argument would be that a grant once made could not be revoked, and that the justice of participating in territory acquired or secured by the joint efforts of the Confederacy remained undiminished. If, contrary to probability, it should be admitted by all the states that each had a right to a share of this common stock, there would still be a difficulty to be surmounted as to a proper rule of apportionment. Different principles would be set up by different states for this purpose, and as they would affect the opposite interests of the parties, they might not easily be susceptible of a pacific adjustment. People of the state of New York, a firm union will be of the utmost moment to the peace and liberty of the states as a barrier against domestic faction and insurrection. It is impossible to read the history of the petty republics of Greece and Italy without feeling sensations of horror and disgust at the distractions with which they were continually agitated, and at the rapid succession of revolutions by which they were kept in a state of perpetual vibration between the extremes of tyranny and anarchy. If they exhibit occasional calms, these only serve as short-lived contrast to the furious storms that are to succeed. If now and then intervals of felicity open to view, we behold them with a mixture of regret arising from the reflection that the pleasing scenes before
us are soon to be overwhelmed by the tempestuous waves of sedition and party rage. If momentary rays of glory break forth from the gloom while they dazzle us with a transient and fleeting brilliancy, they at the same time admonish us to lament that the vices of government should pervert the direction and tarnish the luster of those bright talents and exalted endowments for which the favored soils that produced them have been so justly celebrated. From the disorders that disfigure the annals of those republics, the advocates of despotism have drawn arguments, not only against the forms of republican government, but against the very principles of civil liberty. They have decried all free government as inconsistent with the order of society, and have indulged themselves in malicious exultation over its friends and partisans happily for mankind. Stupendous fabrics reared on the basis of liberty, which have flourished for ages, have, in a few glorious instances, refuted their gloomy sophisms, and I trust America will be the broad and solid foundation of other edifices, not less magnificent, which will be equally permanent monuments of their errors. But it is not to be denied that the portraits they have sketched of Republican government were too just copies of the originals from which they were taken. If it had been found impractical to have devised models of a more perfect structure, the enlightened friends to liberty would have been obliged to abandon the cause of that species of government as indefensible. The science of politics, however, like most other sciences, has received great improvement. The efficacy of various principles is now well understood, which were either not known at all or imperfectly known to the ancients. The regular distribution of power into distinct departments, the introduction of legislative balances and checks, the institution of courts composed of judges holding their offices during good behavior, the representation of the people in the legislature by deputies of their own election. These are wholly new discoveries, or have made their principal progress towards perfection in modern times. They are means, and powerful means, by which the excellences of republican government may be retained and its imperfections lessened or avoided. To this catalog of circumstances that tend to the amelioration of popular systems of civil government, I shall venture, however novel it may appear to some, to add one more on a principle which has been made the foundation of an objection to the new Constitution. I mean, the enlargement of the orbit within which such systems are to revolve, either in respect to the dimensions of a single state or to the consolidation of several smaller states into one great confederacy. The latter is that which immediately concerns the object under consideration. It will, however, be of use to examine the principle in its application to a single state, which shall be attended to in another place.
There's 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 and 1 and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Core frigid thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next let the breath through them be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a well to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense, observe its entity. Watch every thought springs and hands, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen turned inward, miss no atom of analysis. 6 on one thought securely fixed, till every whisper of the wind, so like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word.
Still that ecstasy prolonged, the meditations deep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act.
All these things in one or power time, that the midnight blossom flowered, the one that is yet even in this my sun, no
expression shook like glass to rapture's darkling road. Discarding main form, silent stress, even a distant consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here, thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls far, O brother of the silver star.
There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 and 1 and 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a well till I be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense of surface entity. Watch every thought that springs enhanced, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward, miss no atom of analysis.
6 on 1 thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next till that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong.
Slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one are power. Time that the midnight blossom flower. The oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next till that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong. Slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act.
Yes, all these things in one with power. Time that the midnight blossom flower. This is yet in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. Because when once an efficient national government is established, the best men in the country will not only consent to serve, but also will generally be appointed to manage it. For although town or country or other contracted influence may place men in state assemblies, or senates, or courts of justice, or executive departments, yet more general and extensive reputation for talents and other qualifications will be necessary to recommend men to offices under the national government, especially as it will have the widest field for choice, never experience the want of proper persons, which is not uncommon in some of the states. Hence, it will result that the administration, the political councils, and the judicial decisions of the national government will be more wise, systematical, and judicious than those of individual states, and consequently more satisfactory with respect to other nations, as well as more safe with respect to us. Because under the national government, treaties and articles of treaties, as well as the laws of nations, will always be expounded in one sense and executed in the same manner. Whereas adjudications on the same points and questions in 13 states or in 3 or 4 confederacies will not always accord or be consistent, and that as well from the variety of independent courts and judges appointed by different and independent governments as from the different local laws and interests which may affect government, of course appointed by and responsible only to one national government, cannot be too much commended, because the prospect of present loss or advantage may often tempt the governing party in one or two states to swerve from good faith and justice. But those temptations not reaching the other states, and consequently having little or no influence on the national government, temptation will be fruitless, and good faith and justice be preserved. Case of a treaty of peace with Britain and its great weight. To this reasoning, because even if the governing party in a state should be disposed to resist such temptations, yet as such temptations may and commonly do result from circumstances peculiar to the state, and may affect a great number of the inhabitants, the governing party may not always be able, if willing, to prevent the injustice meditated, or to punish the aggressors. But the national government, not being affected by those local circumstances, will neither be induced to commit the wrong themselves, nor want power or intimidation if they can influence them, or punish its commission by others.
The utility of a confederacy, as well to suppress faction and to guard the internal tranquility of states, as to increase their external force and security, is in reality not a new idea. It has been practiced upon in different countries and ages, and has received the sanction of the most approved writers on the subject of politics. The opponents of the plan proposed have, with great assiduity, cited and circulated observations of Montesquieu on the necessity of a contracted territory for a republican government, but they seem not to have been apprised of the sentiments of that great man expressed in another part of his work, nor to have adverted to the consequences of the principle to which they subscribe with such ready acquiescence. When Montesquieu recommends a small extent for republics, the standards he had in view were of dimensions far short of the limits of almost every one of these states. Neither Virginia, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New York, North Carolina, nor Georgia can by any means be compared with the models from which he reasoned and to which the terms of his description apply. If we therefore take his ideas on this point as the criterion of truth, we shall be driven to the alternative either of taking refuge at once in the arms of monarchy, or of splitting ourselves into an infinity of little jealous, clashing, tumultuous commonwealths, the the wretched nurseries of unceasing discord, and the miserable objects of universal pity or contempt. Some of the writers who have come forward on the other side of the question seem to have been aware of the dilemma and have even been bold enough to hint at the division of the larger states as a desirable thing. Such an infatuated policy, such a desperate expedient might, by the multiplication of petty offices, answer the views of men who possess not qualifications to extend their influence beyond the narrow circles of personal intrigue. But it could never promote the greatness or happiness of the people of America. To the people of the state of New York, it is not a new observation that the people of any country, if like the Americans intelligent and well-informed, and steadily persevere for many years in an erroneous opinion respecting their interest, the consideration naturally tends to create great respect for the high opinion which the people of America have so long and uniformly entertained of the importance of their continuing firmly united under one federal government, vested with sufficient powers for all general and national purposes. The more attentively I consider and investigate the reasons which appear to have given birth to this opinion, the more I become convinced that they are cogent and conclusive. Among the many objects to which a wise and free people find it necessary to direct their attention, that of providing for their safety seems to be the first. The safety of the people doubtless has relation to a great variety of circumstances and considerations, and consequently affords great latitude to those who wish to define it precisely and comprehensively. At present, I mean only to consider it as it respects security for the preservation of peace and tranquility, as well as against dangers from foreign arms and influence, as from dangers of the like kind arising from domestic causes. As the former of these comes first in order, it is proper, it should be the first discussed. Let us therefore proceed to examine whether the people are not right in their opinion that a cordial union under an efficient national government affords them the best security that can be devised against hostilities from abroad. The number of wars which have happened or will happen in the world will always be found to be in proportion to the number and weight of the causes, whether real or pretended, which provoke or invite them. If this remark be just, it becomes useful to inquire whether so many just causes of war are likely to be given by United America as by disowning America. For if it should turn out that United America will probably give the fewest, then it will follow that in this respect the Union tends most to preserve the people in a state of peace with other nations.
In the wide field of Western territory, therefore, we perceive an ample theater for hostile pretensions, without any umpire or common judge to interpose between the contending parties. To reason from the past to the future, we shall have good ground to apprehend that the sword would sometimes be appealed to as the arbiter of their differences. The circumstances of the dispute between Connecticut and Pennsylvania, respecting the land at Wyoming, admonish us not to be sanguine in expecting an easy accommodation of such differences. The Articles of Confederation oblige the parties to submit the matter to the decision of a federal court. The submission was made, and the court decided in favor of Pennsylvania. But Connecticut gave strong indications of dissatisfaction with that determination, nor did she appear to be entirely resigned to it, till, by negotiation and management, something like an equivalent was found for the loss she supposed herself to have sustained. Nothing here said is intended to convey the slightest censure on the conduct of that state. She no doubt sincerely believed herself to have been injured by the decision, and states, like individuals, acquiesce with great reluctance in determinations to their disadvantage. Those who had an opportunity of seeing the inside of the transactions which attended the progress of the controversy between this state and the District of Vermont can vouch the opposition we experienced, as well from states not interested as from those which were interested in the claim, and can attest the danger to which the peace of the Confederacy might have been exposed had this state attempted to assert its rights by force. Two motives preponderated in that opposition. One, a jealousy entertained of our future power, and the other, the interest of certain individuals of influence in the neighboring states, who had obtained grants of lands under the actual government of that district, even the states which brought forward claims in contradiction to ours seemed more solicitous to dismember this state than to establish their own pretensions. These were New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, New Jersey, and Rhode Island, upon all occasions discovered a warm zeal for the independence of Vermont, and Maryland, till alarmed by the appearance of a connection between Canada and that state, entered deeply into the same views. These, being small states, saw with an unfriendly eye the perspective of our growing greatness. In a review of these transactions, we may trace some of the causes which would be likely to embroil the states with each other, if it should be their unpropitious destiny to become disunited. The competitions of commerce would be another fruitful source of contention. The states less favorably circumstanced would be desirous of escaping from the disadvantages of local situation and of sharing in the advantages of their more fortunate neighbors. Each state or separate confederacy would pursue a system of commercial policy peculiar to itself. This would occasion distinctions, preferences, and exclusions which would beget discontent. The habits of intercourse on the basis of equal privileges to which we have been accustomed since the earliest settlement of the country would give a keener edge to those causes of discontent than they would naturally have independent of this circumstance. We should be ready to denominate injuries those things which were in reality the justifiable acts of independent, surviving is consulting a distinct interest, the spirit of enterprise which characterizes the commercial part of America has left no occasion of displaying itself unimproved. It is not at all probable that this unbridled spirit would pay much respect to those regulations of trade by which particular states might endeavor to secure exclusive benefits to their own citizens. The infractions of these regulations on one side, the efforts to prevent and repel them on the other, would naturally lead to outrages, and these to reprisals and wars.
Favorite present ever? Let me show you what this is.
The utility of a confederacy as well to suppress faction and to guard the internal tranquility of states, as to increase their external force and security, is in reality not a new idea.
It has been practiced upon in different countries and ages, and has received the sanction of the most approved writers. On the subject of politics, the opponents of the plan proposed have, with great assiduity, cited and circulated the observations of Montesquieu on the necessity of a contracted territory for a republican government. But they seem not to have been apprised of the sentiments of that great man expressed in another part of his work, nor to have adverted to the consequences of the principle to which they subscribe with such ready acquiescence. Montesquieu recommends a small extent for republics. The standards he had in view were of dimensions far short of the limits of almost every one of these states. Not Virginia, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New York, North Carolina, nor Georgia can by any means be compared with the models from which he reasoned and to which the terms of his description apply. If we therefore take his ideas on this point as the criterion of truth, we shall be driven to the alternative, either of taking refuge at once in the arms of monarchy, or splitting ourselves into an infinity of little jealous, clashing, tumultuous commonwealths, the wretched nurseries of unceasing discord, and the miserable objects of universal pity or contempt. Some of the writers who have come forward on the other side of the question seem to have been aware of the dilemma, and have even been bold enough to hint at the division of the larger states as a desirable thing. Such an infatuated policy, such a desperate expedient might, by the multiplication of petty offices, answer the views of men who possess not qualifications to extend their influence beyond the narrow circles of personal intrigue. But it could never promote the greatness or happiness of the people of America. I need to be free of those telling me what to do in order to attain my real fulfillment. If I suppress my sensual impulses and urges, I may do harm to my natural development. I am a mature person. I can read whatever I wish, or watch whatever kind of TV program or movies I wish. It doesn't affect me at all if I always say no to others in regard to sex or drugs or alcohol. I will never be accepted by others. I will never have any friends. I don't need confession. I haven't any graces. And besides, if I stay away more, there will be less danger of routine confessions. My prayers don't seem to be answered. Seem to be answered. So what is the use of praying? My conscience is the only guide I need. As long as I am at peace with my conscience, I need not worry. Even if some of my acts and decisions are not always with the teachings of the church at church. And so on without end is the cleverness of the evil one.
in exploiting our weaknesses, our likes and dislikes. I need to be free of those telling me what to do in order to attain my real fulfillment. If I suppress my sensual impulses and urges, I may do harm to my natural development. I am a mature person. I can read whatever I wish, or watch whatever kind of TV program or movies I wish. It doesn't affect me at all if I always say no to others in regard to sex or drugs or alcohol. I will never be accepted by others. I will never have any friends. I don't need confession. I haven't any graces. And besides, if I stay away more, there will be less danger of routine confessions. My prayers don't seem to be answered. Seem to be answered. So what is the use of praying? My conscience is the only guide I need. As long as I am at peace with my conscience, I need not worry. Even if some of my acts and decisions are not outraged. From this altar, say the chicks in the ash.
And now, O Father, thou hast put me to silence forever, and all my former thoughts have quite left and forsaken me. For I see the greatness and shape of things here below, and nothing but falsehood in them all. And so thence, this mortal form is daily changed, and turned by time into increase or diminution, as being falsehood. What therefore is true, O Trismegistus? 23 Trism. That, O my son, which is not troubled, nor bounded, not colored, not figured, not changed. That which is naked, high comprehensible only of itself, unalterable, unbodily. Now I am mad indeed, O Father, for when I thought me to have been made a wise man by thee, with these thoughts, thou hast quite dulled all my senses. 25 heard, yet is it so as I say. O son, he that looketh only upon that which is carried upward as fire, that which is carried downward as earth, that which is moist as water, and that which bloweth or is subject to blast as air, how can he sensibly understand that which is neither hard nor moist, nor tangible, nor perspicuous, seeing it is only understood in power and in operation? But I beseech and pray to the mind, which alone can understand the generation which is in God. 26 tat. Then am I, O Father, utterly unable to do it. 26 tat. Then am I, O Father, utterly unable to do it. 26th Herm. Herm, God forbid, son. Rather draw or pull him unto thee, or study to know him, and he will come. Be but willing, and it shall be done. Quiet, or make idle the senses of the body, purging thyself from the unreasonable, brutish torments of matter. 29 Herm. Yea, and those not a few, but many, and fearful ones. 30 Tad. I do not know them, Father. One torment some is ignorance, a second sorrow, a third intemperance, a fourth concupiscence, a fifth injustice, a sixth covetousness, a seventh deceit, an eighth envy, a ninth fraud or guile, a 10th wrath, an 11th rashness, a 12th maliciousness. For them, they are in number 12, and under these many more, some which through the prison of the body do force the inwardly placed man to suffer sensibly. And they do not suddenly or easily depart from him that hath obtained mercy of God. And herein consists both the manner and the reason of regeneration. For the rest, O son, hold thy peace and praise God in silence. And by that means the mercy of God will not cease or be wanting unto us. For the rest, O son, hold peace and praise God in silence. And by that means the mercy of God will not cease or be wanting unto us. For the revelation of God is come to us. And when that came, all ignorance was cast out. The knowledge of joy is come unto us. And when that comes, sorrow shall fly away to them that are capable. 30-side I call unto joy, the power of temperance, a power whose virtue is most sweet. Let us take her unto ourselves, O son, most willingly. For how at her coming hath she put away intemperance, trendy thing. No, I call forth continence, the power which is over concupiscence. This, O son, is the stable and firm foundation of justice. For see how without labor she hath chased away injustice, and we are justified, O son, when injustice is away. 44, the sixth virtue which comes into us, I call communion, which is against covetousness. And when that covetousness gone, I call truth. And when she cometh, error and deceit vanisheth. 40, O son, how the good is fulfilled by the access of joy. states may be admitted by the Congress into this union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of two or more states or parts of states, without the consent of the legislatures of the states concerned, as well as of the Congress of the Congress shall have power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or other property belonging to the United States. And nothing in this Constitution shall be so construed as to prejudice any claims of the United States or of any particular state. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion and non-application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be committed against domestic violence. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes. As part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding, the senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. But no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States.
Because when once an efficient national government is established, the best men in the country will not only consent to serve, but also will generally be appointed to manage it. For although town or country or other contracted influence may place men in state assemblies or senates or courts of justice or executive departments, yet more general and extensive reputation for talents and other qualifications will be necessary to recommend men to offices under the national government, especially as it will have the widest field for choice and never experience. That want of proper persons, which is not uncommon in some of the state's heads, it will result that the administration, the political councils, and the judicial decisions of the national government will be more wise, systematical, and judicious than those of individual states, and consequently more satisfactory with respect to other nations, as well as more safe with respect to us. Because under the national government, treaties and articles of treaties, as well as the laws of nations, will always be expounded in one sense and executed in the same manner, whereas adjudications on the same points and questions in 13 states or in 3 or 4 confederacies will not always accord or be consistent, and that as well from the variety of independent courts and judges appointed by different and independent governments, as from the different local laws and interests which may affect and influence them. The wisdom of the convention in committing such questions to the jurisdiction and judgment of courts appointed by and responsible only to one national government cannot be too much commended. Because the prospect of present loss or advantage may often tempt the governing party in one or two states to work from good faith and justice, but those temptations not reaching the other states and consequently having little or no influence on the national government, the temptation will be fruitless, and good faith and justice be preserved. The case of the Treaty of Peace with Britain adds great weight to this reasoning, because even if the governing party in a state should be disposed to resist such temptations, yet as such temptations may, and commonly do, result from circumstances peculiar to the state, and may affect a great number of the inhabitants, the governing party may not always be able, if willing, to prevent the injustice meditated, or to punish the aggressors. But the national government, not being affected by those local circumstances, will neither be induced to commit the wrong themselves, nor want power or inclination to prevent or punish its commission by others.
If a single member should attempt to usurp the supreme authority, he could not be supposed to have an equal authority and credit in all the Confederate States. Were he to have too great influence over one, this would alarm the rest.
Were he to subdue a part, that which would still remain free might oppose him with forces independent of those which he had usurped, and overpower him before he could be settled in his usurpation. Should a popular insurrection happen in one of the Confederate states, the others are able to quell it. Should abuses creep into one part, they are reformed by those that remain sound. The state may be destroyed on one side and not on the other. The Confederacy may be dissolved, and the Confederates preserve their sovereignty. As this government is composed of small republics, it enjoys the internal happiness of each, and with respect to its external situation, it is possessed by means of the association of all the advantages of large monarchies. I have thought it proper to quote at length these interesting passages, because they contain a luminous abridgment of the principal arguments in favor of the Union, and must effectually move the false impressions which a misapplication of other parts of the work was calculated to make. They have at the same time an intimate connection with the more immediate design of this paper, which is to illustrate the tendency of the Union to repress domestic faction and insurrection. A distinction more subtle than accurate has been raised between a confederacy and a consolidation of the states. The essential characteristic of the first is said to be the restriction of its authority to the members in their collective capacities, without reaching to the individuals of whom they are composed. It is contended that the National Council ought to have no concern with any object of internal administration. An exact equality of suffrage between the members has also been insisted upon as a leading feature of a Confederate government. These positions are, in the main, arbitrary. They are supported neither by principle nor precedent. It has indeed happened that governments of this kind have generally operated in the manner which the distinction taken notice of supposes to be inherent in their nature, but there have been in most of them extensive exceptions to the practice, which serve to prove, as far as example will go, that there is no absolute rule on the subject, and it will be clearly shown in the course of this investigation that as far as the principle contended for has prevailed, it has been the cause of incurable disorder and imbecility in the government. To the people of the state of New York, a firm union will be of the utmost moment to the peace and liberty of the states as a barrier against domestic faction and insurrection. It is impossible to read the history of the petty republics of Greece and Italy without feeling sensations of horror and disgust at the distractions with which they were continually agitated, and at the rapid succession of revolutions by which they were kept in a state of perpetual vibration between the extremes of tyranny and anarchy. If they exhibit occasional calms, these only serve as short-lived contrast to the furious storms that are to succeed. If now and then intervals realms of felicity open to view, we behold them with a mixture of regret. Arising from the reflection that the pleasing scenes before us are soon to be overwhelmed by the tempestuous waves of sedition and party rage. If momentary rays of glory break forth from the gloom, while they dazzle us with a transient and fleeting brilliancy, they at the same time admonish us to lament that the vices of government should pervert their direction and tarnish the luster of those bright talents and exalted endowments for which the favored soils that produce them have been so justly celebrated. From the disorders that disfigure the annals of those republics, the advocates of despotism have drawn arguments, not only against the forms of republican government, but against the very principles of civil liberty. They have decried all free government as inconsistent with the order of society, and have indulged themselves in malicious exultation over its friends and partisans. Happily for mankind, stupendous fabrics reared on the basis of liberty, which have flourished for ages, have in a few glorious instances refuted their gloomy sophisms, and I trust America will be the broad and solid foundation of other edifice not less magnificent, which will be equally permanent monuments of their errors. But it is not to be denied that the portraits they have sketched of Republican government were just copies of the originals from which they were taken. If it had been found impracticable to have devised models of a more perfect structure, the enlightened friends to liberty would have been obliged to abandon the cause of that species of government as indefensible. The science of politics, however, like most other sciences, has received great improvement. The efficacy of various principles is now well understood, which were either not known at all or imperfectly known to the ancients. The regular distribution of power into distinct departments, the introduction of legislative balances and checks, the institution of courts composed of judges holding their offices during good behavior, the representation of the people in the legislature by deputies of their own election. These are wholly new discoveries, or have made their principal progress towards perfection in modern times. They are means, and powerful means, by which the excellences of republican governments may be retained and its imperfections lessened or avoided. To this catalog of circumstances that tend to the amelioration of popular systems of civil government, I shall venture, however novel it may appear to some, to add one more on a principle which has been made the foundation of an objection to the new Constitution. I mean, the enlargement of the orbit within which such systems are to revolve, either in respect to the dimensions of a single state or to the consolidation of several smaller states into one great confederacy. The latter is that which immediately concerns the object under consideration. It will, however, be of use to examine the principle in its application to a single state, which shall be attended to in another place. If we are wise enough to preserve the union we made for ages, enjoy an advantage similar to that of an insulated situation. Europe is at a great distance from us. Her colony is in our vicinity, will be likely to continue too much disproportion in strength to be able to give us any dangerous annoyance.
Extensive military establishments cannot, in this position, be necessary to our security. But if we should be disunited, and the integral parts should either remain separated or, which is most probable, should be thrown together into 2 or 3 confederacies, we should be, in a short course of time, in the predicament of the continental powers of Europe. Our liberties would be a prey to the means of defending ourselves against the ambition and jealousy of each other. This is an idea not superficial or futile, but solid and weighty. It deserves the most serious and mature consideration of every prudent and honest man of whatever party. If such men will make a firm and solemn pause and meditate dispassionately on the importance of this interesting idea, if they will contemplate it in all its attitudes and trace it to all its consequences, they will not hesitate to part with trivial objections to a constitution, the rejection of which would in all probability put a final period to the Union. The airy phantoms that flit before the distempered imaginations of some of its adversaries would quickly give place to the more substantial forms of dangers, real, certain, and formidable. This objection will be fully examined in its proper place, and it will be shown that the only natural precaution which could have been taken on this subject has been taken, and a much better one than is to be found in any constitution that has been heretofore framed in America, most of which contain no God at all on this subject. Back to text. Is it not, we may ask these projectors, politics, the true interest of all nations to cultivate the same benevolent and philosophic spirit? If this be their true interest, have they in fact pursued it? Has it not, on the contrary, invariably been found that momentary passions and immediate interest have a more active and imperious control over human conduct than general or remote considerations of policy, utility, or justice? Have republics in practice been less addicted to war than monarchies? Are not the former administered by men as well as the latter? Are there not aversions, predilections, rivalships, and desires of unjust acquisition that affect nations as well as kings? Not popular assemblies frequently subject to the impulses of rage, resentment, jealousy, avarice, and of other irregular and violent propensities? Is it not well known that their determinations are often governed by a few individuals in whom they place confidence and are, of course, liable to be tinctured by the passions and views of those individuals?
Has commerce hitherto done anything more than change the objects of war? Is not the love of wealth as domineering and enterprising a passion as that of power or glory? Have there not been as many wars founded upon commercial motives, since that has become the prevailing system of nations, as were before occasioned by the cupidity of territory or dominion? Has not the spirit of commerce in many instances administered new incentives to the appetite, both for the one and for the other? Let experience, the least followable guide of human opinions, be appealed to for an answer to these inquiries. Sparta, Athens, Rome, and Carthage were all republics, two of them Athens and Carthage, of the commercial kind, yet were they as often engaged in wars, offensive and defensive, as the neighboring monarchies of the same times. Sparta was little better than a well-culated camp, and Rome was never sated of carnage and conquest. If we are wise enough to preserve the union we made for ages, enjoy an advantage similar to that of an insulated situation, Europe is at a great distance from us. Her colonies in our vicinity will be likely to continue too much disproportioned in strength to be able to give us any dangerous annoyance. Extensive military establishments cannot in this position be necessary to our security. But if we should be disunited and the integral parts should either remain separated or, which is most probable, should be thrown together into 2 or 3 confederacies, we should be in a short course of time in the predicament of the continental powers of Europe. Our liberties would be a prey to the means of defending ourselves against the ambition and jealousy of each other. This is an idea not superficial or futile, but solid and weighty. It deserves the most serious and national consideration of every prudent and honest man of whatever party. If such men will make a firm and solemn course and meditate dispassionately on the importance of this interesting idea, if they will contemplate it in all its attitudes and trace it to all its consequences, they will not hesitate to part with trivial objections to a constitution, the rejection of which would in all probability put a final period to the union. The airy phantoms that flit before the distempered imaginations of some of its adversaries would quickly give place to the more substantial forms of danger that's real, certain and formidable.
There is a wide difference also between military establishments in a country seldom exposed by its situation to internal invasions, and in one which is often subject to them and always apprehensive of them. The rulers of the former can have a good pretext, if they are even so inclined, to keep on foot armies so numerous as must of necessity be maintained in the latter. These armies being in the first case rarely, if at all, called into activity for interior defense, the people are in no danger of being broken to military subordination. The laws are not accustomed to real existence in favor of military exigencies. The civil state remains in full vigor, neither corrupted nor confounded with the principles or propensities of the other state. The smallness of the army renders the natural strength of the community an overmatch for it. And the citizen is not habituated to look up to the military power for protection, nor to submit to its oppressions. Neither love nor fear the soldiery. They view them with a spirit of jealous acquiescence in a necessary evil, and stand ready to resist a power which they suppose may be exerted to the prejudice of their rights. The army under such circumstances may usefully aid the magistrate to suppress a small faction or an occasional mob or insurrection, but it will be unable to enforce encroachments against the united efforts of the great body of the people. In a country in the predicament last described, the contrary of all this happens. The perpetual menacings of danger oblige the government to be always prepared to repel it. Its armies must be numerous enough for instant defense. The continual necessity for their services enhances the importance of the soldier and proportionably degrades the condition of the citizen. The military state becomes elevated above the civil. The inhabitants of territories often the theater of war are unavoidably subjected to frequent infringements on their rights, which serve to weaken their sense of those rights, and by degrees the people are brought to consider the soldiery not only as their protectors but as their superiors. The transition from this disposition to that of considering the masters is neither remote nor difficult, but it is very difficult to prevail upon a people under such impressions to make a bold or effectual resistance to usurpation supported by the military power. The kingdom of Great Britain falls within the first description, an insular situation, and a powerful marine, guarding it in a great measure against the possibility of foreign invasion, supersede the necessity of a numerous army within the kingdom. A sufficient force to make head against a sudden descent, till the militia could have time to rally and embody.
Finance doesn't have to be boring.
Is all that has been deemed requisite. No motive of national policy has demanded, nor would public opinion have tolerated a larger number of troops upon its domestic establishment.
You never took APAC money? I did not. I refused those funds.
How did that go for you?
I just, you know.
Well, I guess you ultimately got blackmailed.
I didn't become Attorney General.
No.
but yes,
Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9. Hold, 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 let it go, go, go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, 9, 9. Hold, 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 let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9. Hold, 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 let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 go.
I come in a watch.
Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Oh, strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the hold, let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, oh. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, 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 oh. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 go. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, 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 oh. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 Santa baby, oh, oh. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Ho, 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 ho. Let it go, 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 Santa baby, oh my. Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, Santa baby, Santa baby. Oh, my little Santa baby, Santa baby. Oh, my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for 10 seconds, 10. Not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby, Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby. Strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas. Take the deepest breath of the day and hold for seconds, 10. Not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, 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 Santa baby, oh my little Santa baby.